Okay, hello everyone. We'll tilt that up a little bit perhaps. Welcome. Thank you for watching yet another vlog about Japan and jet. A lot of you are going to be finding out where you're being placed probably this week. So this seemed like as good a time as any to talk about those of you who will go through this whole jet process and then get to Japan and figure out very quickly that it was a bad choice. It's not for you. And that you'll most likely leave after a year. Jet is a 1-year contract. It's renewable, but not a lot, but there's a decent number of people that go home after 1 year. I obviously was not one of those people. If you've been watching my videos, you know I stayed the maximum allowable, which is 5 years. Most of my videos are very positive. I don't shy away from trying to talk about some of the things that are not so great about Japan, but most of my videos are positive. I'm a big champion of the JET program. I thought it was a wonderful opportunity, and I hope many other people get to have it just like I did. Having said that, it's okay to get to Japan and figure out that you don't like it. That, for whatever reason, if it's a good legitimate reason that you made a mistake, this wasn't a good choice for you, hopefully you won't go on Big Daikon and become one of those bitter people that then slags off the country and or the program just because you personally didn't find it fulfilling. But hey, it's the internet. And so, I think some of you get so worked up about jet, and I get so many PMs from younger people that are still either in college or even in high school and are thinking about jet and thinking about going to Japan, and they just think it's going to be this magical wonderland, or getting into jet is the golden ticket from Willy Wonka. And I think most of you are sensible enough to know that that's not true. But beyond that, there is a certain percentage of you that will go and just not have as good an experience as I did. And I'm not saying I had the best experience ever. I obviously liked it a lot, and the people there liked me, and I stayed 5 years. But I've heard about jets, getting really, chummy with their teachers and doing all kinds of groovy, cool stuff that I never did and stuff like this. So, everybody's going to have a different experience. I know you're getting sick of hearing that, but it's true. And some of you will just not enjoy it. For a lot of you, I think that's going to most likely be not necessarily Japan, but it will be, you really wanted to go to Japan, and you just built it up in your mind. Maybe you've never been there before, and then you got there, and then there's also this whole job part of jet where you have to be a teacher, or at least an assistant. And for some of you, you'll figure out very quickly that that's just not your job, your path into the future, that you'll never probably want to teach again. Some of you will get to Japan and just be one of those jets that I hated to be around, which were the jets that constantly compared Japan and everything to their home country. And those jets are a drag. You have to go in with a little bit more of an open mind, I think, to really, jet's what you make of it. I've said that before, and it's still true. The experience is what you make out of it. And, Dan is my successor, and he's there having a totally different experience in the same town, in the same schools than I did when I went. And, you're going to have a different experience too. So, but some people will get there. Some people go, and for them it's just like a year-long excursion. I've met a lot of jets in their 20s who are very career-minded. They get to Japan, and I've talked to them, and they're like, no, I'm not going to recontract, which is to stay a second or third year, etc. I'm going home. I'm going to go to graduate school, or in a rare cases you'll hear I want to start a family, or these types of things. And, that's a completely legitimate reason. I have no problem with that. But, I even met a jet once when I very first got off the plane in Tokyo in 2004, and I was talking to him, like, oh, where in Japan are you going? He told me, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. You should have a great year. And he's like, yeah, should be fun, but I know I'm coming, I know I'm going home in a year. And I'm like, really? I said, you haven't even started yet. And he goes, yeah, but I want to be a dentist, and I need to go to dental school, and this is just like a 1-year excursion for me. So hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with being focused and career-minded. I just personally was never one of those people. You know, like I don't have this grand plan about my life. And that's good and bad, I guess. But I just you know, I went to Jet open. I was kind of approached to like, if I like it, I'm happy to stay, and if for some reason I don't like it, or you know it's just not for me, then I'll go home. And hopefully some of you will go in with that kind of attitude too, and you know, just roll with it. There's going to be transitions. There's going to be, you know, cultural differences. You're not going to have your safety nets. You're not going to be necessarily around people that are immediately going to know everything that you need to make you comfortable. So you know, you really do have to be flexible to be a successful Jet, I think. But hopefully, you know, you'll go and make the most of it like I did. The last thing I guess I want to talk about in this vlog, and I have some other vlogs planned, but I got a recent comment on a video where someone asked me, you know, you said last year that you would talk about, you know, how hard it is to come back from being a Jet. And, you know, they basically were like, you know, I'm really worried about becoming a Jet because, you know, after I go for, say, 2 years, will I be able to come back and get a job? And again, I mean, I guess this is just something that never even, I mean, I always knew that I would just come back and get my teaching credential and be a teacher if that, you know, I wanted to come back to America permanently. But as you guys know, I'm going back to Japan to teach again. And so I never really like worried about that because, you know, Jed is teaching and I want to be a teacher. But so many of you have degrees in other fields and you want to go on in life and do things completely not related to teaching English. And so, yeah, I will say from my experience over the past, say, 8 months being back in America, especially now with the economy as bad as it is here, but I'm assuming this is the same in many other countries too, that Jet is not the greatest thing to have on your resume. If you come back and you're bilingual and you can speak fluent Japanese, then I think there are more job possibilities for you if you want to pursue a career where you're using Japanese. But just simply being a Jet, it's people don't know what it is. People are like, oh, you went away for 2 years and now you're coming back to this field after doing that. I even went to like tutoring schools when I first got back and really needed a job. And I'd be like, yeah, I just got back. I was working 5 years with kids and stuff, and it wasn't even like that impressive. So I'll admit, Jet being on your resume is not huge, unless you're going for something specifically where they're looking for someone, you know, that's had, you know, living abroad experience or yada yada yada. And of course, you can spin Jet in many positive ways, but I will admit that you know, in general, it's like you are sort of taking this time capsule out of your life for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you know, you're removing yourself from the job market field craziness. So some of you are very, very career minded when I talk to you via email or a blog TV. And if you're one of those people, then don't go to Japan. You know, you don't have to go. You should go and want to be there and living there and not constantly thinking about like 6 months from now and stuff. Now, maybe that sounds naive to you, but in my opinion, you should be living in the moment while you're in Japan and enjoying it all and absorbing it all and stuff, because you know what? You probably will come back to America and get that corporate job or whatever it is, and you might not ever live in another country again. You know, a foreign country. And so that's going to be your one chance. And if you go there and spend all your time studying for the GRE or I don't even know what, then, you know, why go? So, but, you know, to sum up this video again because of the title, if you get to Japan and you don't like it, don't feel bad. You know, you don't have to compare yourself to any other Jets, to me, whatever. You know, the experience is what you make of it. And if you go and you don't like it, that's okay too. All right? So that's the vlog for today. Thanks for watching as always. If you made it to this mark, you are the people I make videos for. I appreciate you watching it all the way to the end. All right? Peace. See you soon.